it's Thursday, so here's my video for this week, and the topic is on surgeries. So I'm just going to kind of go through the questions that we were given and answer all the ones that I can. Has your boyfriend already had surgery during his transition process? Yeah, he had top surgery in 2007 with Dr. Mindali in Cleveland, Ohio, and then he had a revision with the same doctor in 2008. He had a slight complication with his chest surgery, top surgery, because he's allergic to anesthesia, so it made him really sick after the surgery, and all that yucky, vomity nastiness caused problems with the healing process, so he had a revision, but it looks really good, he thinks now, so I'll pause and show you a picture. Yep, so that's what his chest looks like, and he feels really comfortable with that now. He talks about maybe at some point having another slight revision, one of the sides, but the scarring is really pretty minimal as far as top scars go, and he went without his shirt this summer and says that he feels fine without it, and I think it looks good. So yep, that was his top surgery. My experience with it is, again, because I don't really have an experience with it. This was years before I met him that he had his top surgery and his revision. So I don't really have anything as far as that goes. He is planning on having a full hysterectomy within the next 3 or so years. I really don't have a lot of feelings about that. I think it's fine. It makes perfect sense to me because with his regular tea dosage, after so many years, it can, make those organs not so functionable, and I just don't want him to cause any problems in the future, so I think it makes sense. He's not using them, there's no point, let's get rid of them, right, before they cause any problems. We kind of have a joke that, I don't know, maybe it's funny, but to us, but when we talk about this surgery with him, we talk about how I wear the uterus in this relationship, or the cervix, I wear the cervix in this relationship, that's what we say. Anyway, so yeah, he's not using them, doesn't need them, get rid of them before they cause problems, kind of how I feel about it. He has kind of talked about bottom surgery, but it's not really something that he's considering or looking into seriously for now. It's a thought in his head, and maybe in the future it might be something that he looks into. He's really interested in the meta procedure, which, in my understanding of that, just kind of like rearranges what you got going on now, and that sort of situation. As far as my feelings about that, I try to stay kind of ambivalent or out of it. It's really important to me that he doesn't feel limited or pressured because of me or how I feel about it. Like, I don't want him to think, oh, I can't ever have bottom surgery or look into bottom surgery because Angela won't be attracted to me then, or she won't like my body or want to be, sexual with me if I do that, so I can't do that. I don't want him to feel that way. I want him to make this decision, if it ever comes up, based on what he wants and what he feels he needs, because it's his body. And that being said, I also don't want him to feel pressure to make that decision because of me, like, oh, I need to have bottom surgery because Angela really would like me better or be more into me or into my body if I did. So I just want this to be his process and on his terms. So I just try really hard to be supportive in whatever he decides or wherever he is in that process as far as bottom surgery goes. That being said, it does make me nervous. I like his goods the way they are, right? Like, I'm perfectly fine with how it is. We, everything goes great with us in that department, with his body the way it is now, so I don't really feel like it's necessary, but if it is to him, I accept that and I'll go with it. I am nervous of any surgery with him because of his being allergic to anesthesia, and that just sucks, and to get sick, and it just has to really be something that's worth it to want to go through that kind of like healing process for somebody that's allergic to to the medicine like that. So that makes me nervous. And I guess I would just really want to see, get more information about it. I don't have any now, so I can't really share any information about bottom surgery as far as that goes. But I know him and I know how he is about such things, that if it's something that he's really considering, he will find out all the information there is to know about the different options, the different doctors, talk to different guys who have had that procedure, their experiences, things like that. So I would really want to be a part of that process so that I could get used to the idea and get, just hear positive stories and experiences so that I become comfortable with it in the process as he goes through it. And I know that he would include me in that if it ever comes to that with his consideration of bottom surgery. So I'm not worried so much as just it does make me nervous. And we'll cross that bridge when we get there is kind of how I feel about it. Yeah. How important do I think that surgery is to someone's transition? I think it's just as important as you want it to be. There's more than one way to be trans, and there's more than one way to be a guy, and I don't for any second think that being a guy has to do with what's in your pants or even what's on your chest. I don't think that being a woman has anything to do with what organs you have or don't have. And this gets into larger ideas of gender and sex and all of these things that I won't really dive into so much here. But I think that if you feel like a guy and you identify as a guy, or feel like a woman and identify as a woman, that's what matters. And if surgery is important to you to make your outside align with your inside or your identity or whatever, more power to you. I think that your body is your own, and do what you need to do and what matters. So I think it's as important as you want it to be. I think as far as society goes, you're going to be more likely to be read as male if that's what you're going for, if you don't have a chest, if you're flat-chested and you have a deep voice. And that's important to some people. To other people, it's not that important. I know trans guys that really don't care if people use she or how they perceive them. And they kind of fall more on the trans spectrum that's closer to genderqueer, gender variant, but that's a really real gender presentation and experience for a lot of people. And I think that's perfectly fine too. I feel like, if your goal is to be read as a guy, top surgery probably helps that a lot. But it all has to do with your goals and what's important to you as far as your presentation and gender identity. As far as options for people who don't desire surgery or can't afford it, those really suck. For top surgery, of course, you can bind for options for bottom surgery. There are packies that you can use if you want to bulge there in certain pants or all the time, or maybe just to feel confident when you walk down the street. Everybody's different, so I know that those exist, and that's a possibility. There are prosthetics that you could use or wear. As far as bottom surgery goes, if you can't afford bottom surgery, that's a real option. So there are options. There's ways of working around it because surgery is expensive and all of that. But I think that what matters is finding a way to present yourself and get the gender presentation that you feel comfortable with and that you identify with, and that's what matters. However you do that, it's kind of like a case-by-case basis, I suppose. Right, but I guess just on a kind of a last word, I really feel that it's important for, as far as a partner or supportive person or friend of a trans guy or a trans woman, it's important to be supportive, but not pushy, and also, just kind of keep your feelings out of it. Not that your feelings don't matter, because they do and they're real, and it is important to have support as far as your personal feelings go, but I just feel like it's really important that Drew makes this decision based on his identity and his body, and what he wants and what's important to him, and I don't want him to do something or not do something because he's afraid of how that will make me feel. Of course, I'm his partner, I want him to at least hear my opinion, but I don't want to limit him or pressure him in any way, and I think that that's really important for supportive people, to let the trans person in your life be their own person. That's all I got. This is already almost 10 minutes, so it's kind of a long time, but I'll see you guys next week. Yep, bye.